Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast, a show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. We are in the second half, the random take. We're just going to talk about what we're watching. There's so many fucking streaming services. There's so much shit out right now.
So many. And I wish they'd knock that shit off, dude. There's some of the stuff where I want to watch it.
I know.
But like, no offense, BET Plus, but there's one show I want to watch on your system.
Mm-hmm.
And
That Miss Pat show looks dope.
Yes, Miss Pat, for sure. Miss Pat. Everybody wants to see Miss Pat.
I know.
And it has nothing.
I knew what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's 100% just like what they have on there is not anything I'm interested in except for Miss Pat. I want to see Miss Pat. But that's also like Hulu dropped the ball. Like it was supposed to be on Hulu and then they screwed up. So it's not 100% their fault. Like BET Plus is like, we'll pick it up.
Right.
But I just wish that they would stop it with this. Like, because you start doing the streaming options because it's a good money saver.
Yep.
And now you have to buy every single one. And now it's starting.
It's the same price as cable now. You're like, what the fuck is the difference? There's no difference. We're just getting over the internet now instead.
Yeah, it's
stupid.
But Hulu didn't just sign
it's scattered,
a deal.
Right? Like that, Now it's scattered, where before with cable, you just hit one remote and one menu and you just fucking flip through channels. But now you go to an app on a device and you flip through everything on that app and then you go, yeah, there's nothing on Hulu tonight. I'm going to go over to Netflix. Yeah, nothing on Netflix. I'm going to go over to Discovery Plus, and you just fucking keep changing apps. It's like, Jesus Christ.
I think I just heard him talking about this on YMH about like how they were like, yeah, back in my day, we all had to wait for the TV to come on at a certain time. We all watched it. Everybody in the world watched it at the same time. that wasn't even that long ago, dude.
It's crazy. That wasn't that long ago. That was in our parents' lifetime.
Right. And now we do it with like sports for the most part, but still people record that. I do all the time. Right. Record the Vikings game so I can skip halftime.
Right.
Like wait like a half hour and then I'll watch it, and as soon as halftime comes, I'll catch up to live and then be like live for the second half.
Right.
And at that point, sometimes you're just like, but at that point, sometimes you like fast forward through to the second half and you're just like, well, I'm live. Not much point in finishing this game.
With the Vikings, that is.
Sports is rough, dude. Oh, it's rough. Anyways.
When it comes to Minnesota teams.
Yes. And so far, not awesome.
It's usually a rough ride. You want to know what ends up happening with us over here is, so we have a few and we kind of have the family plan thing going on where we exchange.
Oh, sure. Yep.
Where we exchange stuff. But dude, we sort of just end up rewatching a lot of stuff, which feels so stupid because there's an infinite amount of things to watch. Like we were just talking about, because there's so many fucking platforms. But then what do you do when you jump on? You just go, I'm gonna watch that because there it is on my list. And yeah, it was really good. Like Sarah watches the 100 all the time. Just rewatches it. Yeah, the 100, the CW show.
Okay.
It's like a sci-fi CW show. If you know, you know. If you don't, you really don't.
Sure.
But
yeah.
Well,
so I'm not. Sorry, you go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, she does a lot. She does that rewatching, but then like we have Avatar on DVD. That's on Nickelodeon's Avatar. We have that on DVD.
Yeah. Okay.
We still just rewatch it on Netflix. We watch it like 5 times on Netflix. I keep watching the Mythbusters. Like, it's so much of this rewatch stuff because it's just easy, and you're just like, yep, know what I'm getting into. Gonna click that on and vacuum the house.
Right. Yeah. When you're doing stuff, it's always a good time to rewatch stuff. I do agree with that. Like if you know something's funny, like if I'm trying to do stuff and I just want something in the background, I Workaholics almost every time.
Just for sure, dude.
Throw on some Workaholics because you don't need to watch it all the time. Like there's funny visuals, but you can get the jokes and stuff.
Right.
Like the other day I was cooking and I knew that Parasite.
Were you cooking hot cheese and eggs?
Hot cheese and eggs. He was just on something. What was he on? Just watch. Oh, Hubie. Hubie Halloween. Hubie.
Whoa,
Hubie?
really?
Yeah, he was in there. He lost some weight. I was like,
Are
"Oh,
you
he was."
talking about the, Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah, the hot
Yeah, yeah,
cheese
yeah, we talked
maze.
about that on our Halloween special, which
Yeah.
yeah,
Me and
and I've
Shannon just watched it because we didn't have Netflix
right.
then. But,
Yep.
like you said, you start running out of stuff, and you're just like, "Whatever, we go on Netflix." I can't remember why we ended up getting it. There's something I wanted to watch on there. But, yeah, we
You
have
kinda said
Netflix.
earlier that you got it for Beckett in a way.
Yeah, I think it probably did. Oh, yeah, I think it was something like that, yeah. He wanted to see The Croods or something. But,
Oh, sure,
yeah,
sure.
got Netflix and, yeah, watched the Hubie Halloween. Not a
Dude,
bad flick, man.
breaking news.
Ooh,
Dave Chappelle's last special dropped tonight.
last?
His last Netflix special.
Oh, okay.
The deal's done now. He's fulfilled his it dropped. So, yeah.
Nice.
And that's just a little behind the scenes because you already said Friday night speedball.
Yep, 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 yep.
So yeah, I'm super stoked on that. I will be watching that very soon.
Oh, for sure.
We're gonna have to talk about that for
Yeah.
sure,
You
dude.
know who else got a good special? One that I just watched? Shane Gillis. Everybody go check it out. You
Oh
don't need
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
streaming platform. He's got it on YouTube for
It's just on
free.
YouTube. Yep.
Yep.
48 minutes just sitting on YouTube.
So good. Like
Yeah.
I laughed. He's funny. I laughed quite a bit. He
Oh
did,
yeah.
he's got a joke where he opens it. The very, very beginning of it is so good because they did like an edit. It's almost like it wasn't part of the special, and it was just like a little thing that he threw in there. So I'm not really ruining it for anybody because it's like the very beginning of it, and then they get into the actual special. But he's just
Okay.
like, yeah, I was thinking the other day that the first time they ever had to come up with age of consent, that had to be a rough day for the boys. Then he's just like the first guy is up is like, Rhode Island, 12. Everybody's like, ew, ew, dude.
Ew, dude.
He's just like, what? I don't know why I had to go first on this one. So, and like that's how it opens, and then it like goes into the actual like stand-up special. But that's like a thing before they even like roll the
Right, right.
starting part. It's really good. I enjoyed the whole thing. He's a comic, so there's like some
Right.
stuff that people would probably find offensive, but nothing over the top.
But that's what
I love
comedy's
how
supposed to be.
yes, and I love how he prefaces everything. Like he's just like, I'm not saying that I'm making fun of these people, but they are funny. He's very good at wording everything,
Nice.
and I don't know
I'll have
what
to
he
watch
did
that
to
because I
get.
keep getting it in my YouTube feed. Like it keeps coming up just because
Yeah,
I watch comedy and
dude,
and
his
it just
whole
feeds.
thing. Check out all of them. Like the Gillian Keeves.
Okay.
Gillian Keeves is like him and his friend like have sketch comedy that they do, and it's really well produced. I'm
Oh
surprised. Like they have
yeah.
money into it. Like they have
Oh,
Donald Trump speed dating is
and this is
one.
all on YouTube.
Yeah, it's all on YouTube. The Donald
Yeah.
Trump speed dating is so good. And it's like he looks like Trump, he's got everything done, and they have like real actors. It's like a huge room of like looks like
Yes.
a
Like
real
it looks
speed
like a
dating.
speed dating room. Like everybody's
Yeah.
there's people in it and shit.
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. It's so good. It's you
That's
gotta check it
awesome,
out.
dude.
And he does a really good Trump, and he talks about how he figured out how to do a Trump impersonation in the
In his
stand-up
special.
special. So it like all ties in. So check out all of it.
Sweet.
I'm super impressed by
And that's all on
him.
YouTube, which is just so funny to think about because like we're talking about what we're watching and I kept leading it in like there's so many streaming services we had like between the two of us we have them all and all this shit and then it's just like YouTube. YouTube's
Yep.
really dope. Because I also have been watching some shit on YouTube, the Meat Eater channel with Steve Burnell is the top like he's like the head dude of Meat Eater channel.
Yeah.
They have this series called, and I've talked about it on the podcast before, but they have this particular one, back to the fishing stuff. They have this series called Das Boat, and they find a shitty old boat and they
Das
kind of refurb it and they get it ready for these fishing adventures that they take it on. And so they go
Yeah, and
like on
they
5 or 6
yeah,
fishing
they,
adventures.
he's on Rogan's podcast, like the most recent one, and I didn't listen
Oh,
to it
sure.
yet,
Sure.
But he's been on there before, and if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, isn't that one where they actually talk about like flying it to other places? Like they have it loaded up and brought to.
I don't think they fly the boat to
No,
other
I
places.
thought they actually had it like dropped off in certain spots
They
where
do
like
have it dropped off, but I think they drive it around because this one is like what seems to be regional. So I didn't watch the other seasons. The reason why I got turned
okay.
on to this particular season was because I was watching that episode about them eating coyote
Mm,
that I talked about on the podcast prior, like a couple episodes ago. I talked about it on our podcast here on the Real AF TV podcast about how I had been watching, how they blew my fucking mind saying coyotes kill more or coyotes have killed less people than snails in the last
right,
year or
right,
whatever.
right.
Remember that one?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And so then all their stuff starts to get fed to the top, and they got this new one, Das Boat, or this new season of Das Boat coming out, so it gets pushed to the top. And I watched the whole thing, and it's fucking awesome. And it's all regional, and they're definitely driving it to places because it just ended on Lake Erie, but they
Okay.
started fishing in New Jersey.
Oh,
So I'm not
that's
saying they
cool.
didn't fly it, but what I'm saying is it seemed to be towed everywhere
Right.
based on the whole season.
Okay.
And it's really well produced. It's full on, like, the Meat Eater show
Whoops.
is on Netflix. And I'm watching that too. They just
Yeah.
dropped season 10. That's one of the things I'm watching right now. They just dropped season 10 of Meat Eater
Holy
show.
shit.
Huh?
Was that season 10? Holy shit.
Yeah. And I think the majority of them are on YouTube actually. But yeah, he's got 10 seasons. And I just started watching that. And this is just a YouTube series. And this Das Boat is just a YouTube series, as far as I know.
Okay.
But it's so well produced. Like, it's just as good as the stuff that's on Netflix, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude. I
Like,
mean,
it
that's
could be on Netflix. Netflix
yeah,
could buy it up, in my opinion.
that's what I was talking about with that Gillian Keys. Like, I
Right.
mean, it looks like, as well produced as like Chappelle's show was. You
Shit,
know,
dude.
I mean, like it looks like something or like something on Saturday Night Live. Like,
Sure.
they definitely put money into this, you
Right,
know?
right.
So
Yeah.
that was impressive to me.
That's sick, dude. I
Yeah.
love to hear that because that's the exact same thing. Like, we're talking the same thing, just different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
It's so good.
So
We have Discovery Plus. You don't have Discovery Plus.
no.
But that's where the Food Network lives. I know that you watch
Okay.
because we've talked about it again multiple times. You watch Good Eats. You have Good Eats. You have like a DVD collection of Good Eats.
Yeah, I have a DVD. Yeah, I think it's like the first 3 or 4 seasons.
Oh shit, dude,
Yep.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So they relaunched Good Eats not too long ago,
Okay.
so I rewatched that. I rewatched the season. I actually bought it on iTunes, and then I just rewatched it on Discovery Plus.
That's one thing that I'll do. Like, I don't rewatch a lot of stuff because my memory is too good for like actual like movies and stuff, like visual
Because of the
stuff.
surprise.
Yeah, the stuff
There's
just
no
like
more surprise.
everything comes back to me.
Right.
I started watching Friday the 13th, the final chapter.
Okay.
That was the first horror movie I ever rented on my own. Like the first time I was allowed to rent something, and I'm
Is
like,
that a
shit.
VHS then back then?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Yep.
fuck yeah, dude.
So I rented that and I'm watching it, and it was either that or Nightmare on Elm Street. And I looked at the back of the box for Nightmare on Elm Street, and it
Mhm.
was just like too gross. Everything like was wet and bloated, and I'm just like,
Yep,
ugh,
yep. Yeah.
no thanks. I want to watch this
God,
other
why
one.
do
So I
they do
watched
that?
it, and I remember when I was a kid watching. There's a scene. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen it yet, it's fucking 30 years old. But
You're
there's,
allowed to spoil things 30 years old.
yeah, there's a scene where there's a hitchhiker, kind of like a chunky hitchhiker on the side of the road. She holds up a sign like, like hitchhiking or whatever, and they drive past her, and then she flips over the sign and it says "fuck you" on the back, and I'm like, oh yeah, get him, girl, or whatever I said back then. I
Uh-huh.
was just,
Uh-huh.
and they Jason comes out of the woods and stabs her in the back of the head, and the knife pokes out underneath her chin. And
Jesus.
I've never seen any movie magic like that before, and I
Sure.
literally, like, it hit me where I'm just like, "Did I just watch a woman get murdered?" Like, how
Oh
did you
my
just make
god.
the knife blade pop out
Right.
from her
Right.
chin? And
Right.
then, like, so that messed with me a little bit, but it wasn't like some of the other ones. Like, I was able to get over that, but that movie, um, I started watching it and I saw there's a scene where at the beginning of it, the mom's like walking into the kitchen and the kid is wearing uh like a alien mask, and that
Okay.
alien
Like a
mask,
big green alien
it's like a gray alien mask, looks kind of dumb
with
and
the big
stuff.
eyes, like
Yep.
the what you think of
Yeah.
it, like a South Park alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit dumber looking. But they they had that, and then like the whole movie came back to me. I saw him,
Really?
bam. I haven't seen that movie for like 25 years.
Jesus, dude.
And I'm just like, we got it all.
You're
It's
like,
no
"I'm
point.
good." That's
No point.
crazy. Where was
No
that
point.
on? Like, where were you watching it? Like, you didn't rent it, right?
No, I think it was on Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
some reason I looked around, and Hulu and I think Paramount Plus, for some reason there's like the like chapter 3 and the final chapter. And, like, that's
Oh,
those
of the
two are on,
Friday
like,
the 13th.
yeah, so I haven't found the source of where they all are, but those two are
The
on,
ones that are, like, out there
yeah.
for everybody to
Yep.
find.
They're
Do
like,
you
"You
have
wanna see
Paramount
it?"
Plus?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yep.
That means you're gonna get them South Park movies and stuff. We don't, but
We
I'll
ended up,
get
yeah.
it because, like, you have Paramount Plus, you have HBO Max.
Max.
HBO
Yep.
Max.
Yep.
Yeah, you have that. See, and those are the ones that I'm talking about getting on just basically for South Park.
Yeah, we got on Paramount Plus just for Beckett because they have the puppy dog, no, the Paw Patrol movie.
Yep, I was just gonna say it's Paw Patrol,
Yep.
right? Yep, yep. Paramount Plus has super super high potential if they do it right. I don't know how they will. I'm actually worried about Hulu right now because between Paramount Plus and Discovery Plus, that's all we watch on Hulu almost is anything that's on Paramount and Discovery because the Food Network shit is all on Discovery now. And Paramount has like the Rugrats and I believe they own the Cartoon Network also. I
I
think.
do not know.
I'm not fully sure either. But I've been
Yeah.
watching Rick and Morty finally, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. Good stuff.
This show is fucking crazy.
Shannon doesn't like it at all.
I
I
can't imagine my wife would like it either, but she put it
I
on for me this morning when we were cooking breakfast, and I almost just hugged her to death. I was like,
I
whoa, you turned that on for me? Jesus. Because I just have the iPad next to the stove, and I usually cook breakfast, and then her and the baby, they just hang
yeah,
out.
there was such a well-written joke that had me like laughing and coughing when I was getting the treatment for the COVID, whatever that stuff was called,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
the infusion, and I
Yep.
started laughing and then I started coughing because I only really coughed when I laughed at that point,
Yep.
and it got me so good. And I tried to show Shannon, and she's like, "Is that it?" Just like, that was such a good joke. Can't believe you didn't like it.
She just wasn't like, I don't get it. Or just like it just didn't hit. It just didn't even get close to hitting. There was one that I just heard. I think it was actually yesterday morning. I was watching it, and they're having a party. So I think it's actually the opening to season 2. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But they throw in this huge party, and Rick's just like, yeah, time to cut loose. And first of all, he goes. Morty walks up to him. Rick, how many people did you invite? People. Oh, 7.
7.
And I don't know if 7's the number, but he's like, people. I don't know. I didn't invite that many people.
Right.
He's like, there's going to be a lot more things here than
Yeah,
that.
there's
There's going to be a lot more beings here than that. But it's like,
right.
humans? I
Yeah.
don't know, 7.
Humans, no. Yeah.
So good.
That's
And so they're panning through the party, right? The party's already rip roaring and like the door rings and they're panning through the party. And there's a girl, like the foreground girl. She just goes, yeah, I like watching Bukkake, but I don't know if I've ever do it. Nothing to do with anything.
No.
It's just a pan through a party, and this is a conversation that they catch in the middle of.
Like watching it, but I don't know how to do it.
Oh,
Yeah, the
best.
super well written joke is some like so. All right, I gotta set up this a little bit.
Okay.
So there's an episode of where Morty goes down to his mom's work. She works at a place that like artificially inseminates horses.
She's a horse surgeon. Yes.
Morty works like goes in like after hours and uses the machine that helps the dudes finish off to and like the samples go into this like thing because they use what's left. So they go, and for whatever reason I can't remember, but Rick is like, quick, we need to do this and we need to whatever, and this will work out as long as it's just horse semen. And he like looks over at Morty and he's like, it's just horse semen, right? And then then Morty's just like, yeah, Rick, why would it be anything else? So they do it, and all of a sudden like they become like giant like semen like monsters. Like they're huge, just sperms running around all over the place. And most of these sperms they're like Morty's sperm, so they're like he's the father. So he's running
Yeah.
around, and there's one that's like a little bit different looking, and it's his. You like clearly like more him, and he's just like, I shall call you. He doesn't say I shall call you. I don't know why instead of saying that, he's just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna call you Sticky. And so this is still just the setup. This is still just the setup. so he calls him Sticky, and then there's one point where they're like they have the machine set up to make more of these. There's like a badass like lady sperm, and
Okay.
she's just like, Morty, I'm gonna use you to like make more of my army. And they have like him strapped down to this bed, and Rick has been like captured too, so he's right there, and he's just like, Rick is like, I gotta turn away, I can't watch this. And Morty's like, you don't watch it, don't look at me. And they're like moving the machine down, and he starts going like, oh, and then all of a sudden that little sperm comes in that he made friends with, and he goes, Sticky. And then Morty goes, Jesus. Rick goes, Jesus, Morty, I know you're not a wordsmith, but come all that to set up a joke of him just like
shit happening
just
for him to just be like, really?
Yeah, Rick thinking that he yells Sticky when he comes. I started laughing so hard at that while I'm getting that body fusion thing.
Oh my
god. Sticky.
Oh my god, the jokes in that show are so good. Like I could have written a fucking huge list of the jokes just because they're so fucking funny.
Dude,
like
that
show is so well written, man. It blows me away.
It's a crazy smart show too. Like,
oh, big time.
They do it justice with like the world gets super crazy, but like they figure it all out. Like it's not just a bunch of nonsense. It's like world into world into world, and it's all this stuff. Like just if you haven't seen it before, anybody listening, like go check it out, because Rick's got this gun that like shoots like a green circle, and
it's
then they can the portal gun, and they can go anywhere. and
Yeah.
it creates like there's his portal gun can bring you into different dimensions, and it just brings in. I mean, that's why Josh was saying about the the humans, seven, because there's so much
Right. Yeah. No, that's a
humans,
really good point.
not
Yeah.
a
If
lot of
like if you
humans,
haven't seen it, I guess you wouldn't understand that. Is like
right?
he said humans, like how many people did you invite to the party? He's like, well, like human 7. Yeah. Like people, because he's got all these friends from all these other dimensions and all these adventures that they've gone on that he just invites in that they're they're not people.
Yeah,
They're other forms
and
of life.
the characters that he's made, and there's so many different Ricks too, from different parallel universe.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
There's infinite universes. It's endless possibilities.
wubba lubba dub dub. He's got like the names Bird Person.
Bird person. Bird person is the best, dude.
And then they have that one. Have you seen the episode with the blue guy yet?
No, I don't think I've made it that
I
far.
can't remember what his name is, but yeah, it's a crazy one. You'll know what I'm talking about when you get there. I can't remember his name.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, there's so many, but
It's
so I gotta tell you, we gotta move on from Rick and Morty.
okay.
I gotta tell
Yeah,
you,
we do, because otherwise we just make this whole. It would end up just being Rick and Morty for the whole entire thing. So you're
yeah,
right. You're right.
so speaking of HBO Max, we get
Yeah.
movies that come out in the theaters ahead of time,
Oh,
and
right. Which I just thought the other day. I was like, the ultimate home box office. HBO actually means HBO now. Like full
yeah,
on
yeah,
actually means HBO. I love it
for
so
sure.
much.
Yeah. So Malignant is a horror
Oh,
movie that's
I
out
heard
right
about this a
now, and
little
it
bit.
just came
Okay.
out, and I've never been so like I've never seen anything like it, in the sense that I've never
Really?
seen anything. Oh, let me explain it like this.
Well, the first 10 episodes of this podcast, you couldn't stop going into horror movie like tangents.
Yes,
So you've seen a shitload. Like you're a
I've
horror
seen
movie aficionado.
yes, but okay, listen to this. I'm gonna
So what the
explain this.
fuck is going on here?
I'm gonna explain this movie in its heat. I've never seen anything so in the middle before, and this will
What?
make sense in a second. I've never seen anything where I feel like this is how the movie was made. Somebody had a decent idea for a movie where they're like, this is kind of crazy, right? And they're like, that is kind of crazy. And then they had a bunch of really good ideas for scares, because it is really fucking creepy in a couple of parts.
Okay.
And things are done well. And you're
Mhm.
just like, okay. And then they come up with like this premise and all these good ideas for these really good scares, and they're just like, do you have a script? And they're like, no. Do you know somebody who can write one? And then they go, yes. And then they and then they go to that guy, and they and they go, hey, can you write us a script? And they're like, how do you feel about plot holes and very shitty dialogue? And then and then they go, I don't love it. And then they go to the next guy, and they're like, what do you think? And he's just like, how much rape can I get away with? And then
That is not where I saw this going.
and then
That's why it's funny.
but yeah, and then they just go back to the first guy, and then they go, plot holes and
Oh, right. Okay.
and whatever it is. That's where
Right. We're not going with the rape guy.
not the rape guy. Jeez. Oh.
You get two quotes, and the one guy says rape. Whoa. We're gonna take the first quote.
We can get away with rape sometimes, but this movie's weird enough the way it is. Jeez. So yeah, dude, it's
What the fuck?
there are some spooky parts, and then all of a sudden you see stuff, and just like I laughed quite a bit at this movie.
That's how you know you have a bad horror movie.
Dude, the dialogue was, there's a part where a guy's about to get murdered, and the noise that he makes right before he gets his face bashed in is just like, ooh.
That's literally the noise.
Ooh. That was so good. I'm just like, what kind of acting choice was that? Why did you keep that? Did you only get one take?
Right? You could have voice overed it even. Who
Dude,
cares? You could do
and
whatever.
and the scene before that happened was the dude walks. So get this, okay? This is a little bit of a spoiler alert because you're gonna know what's coming if you want to see this movie because I'm explaining to you what happens before the bad guy hits him just because it's so fucking stupid. So
I already love it.
he goes into his room. It's raining outside, right? And he
Okay.
goes into his room. Everything's quiet and stuff, and all of a sudden like he turns and the window's open. Wasn't open before. Goes over to the window, sees that there are wet footprints into his closet. Walks into his closet, turns on the light, doesn't bother moving a fucking shirt. Just click,
Just stands
looks
there.
around,
Yep.
grabs a towel, wipes up the water, crawls in the bed and goes to sleep. Are you shitting me? Then I'm getting out my fucking shotgun. I'm clearing the whole house like a goddamn SWAT team. This guy just dries up the water like whatever happens every day.
Giggles.
Footprints into my closet.
No big deal.
Hey, footprints into the closet. Everyday thing. You know,
It's just
what are you
normal
gonna
here.
what are you gonna do? It's past my bedtime.
Gotta get my 8 hours.
Gotta get that beauty sleep.
What the fuck,
Could
dude?
somebody murder in my sleep? Sure, but if if I spend any more time on this problem, I'm not gonna get my sleep, and I get those bags under my eyes. I look like shit. I gotta go to bed right now.
Right now. Right now. Wipe this up. Bed.
No point in delving into this further. I've done a lot of weird, shady shit. The movie will show later that I've definitely dealt with some shady characters. There's a very good chance that somebody could be seeking revenge. I have been hearing rumors about other people getting murdered. There were water footprints into my closet. I've got to go to bed. This is just too much to take in right now.
What the
Dude, and then the
I'll fucking
twist,
cry laughing right
the
now.
the
It's so
twist,
stupid.
the twist at the end is like
Oh
the
no.
whole movie.
There's a twist ending too.
I'm playing along with the whole thing,
Uh,
and you're just kind of like, what could it be? You know, she says something about like how she's always wanted a blood relative, and you're like, she doesn't know her childhood. She's like everything before she was 8. She's
yeah.
unaware of, and she was
Classic
adopted.
video game thing where you just like,
Yeah,
I'm a character and I have no idea what's going on, even though I'm
dude.
22 years old.
So this is another part that like hit me like just stupid as hell. Where like she's adopted, I'm adopted.
Mm-hmm.
So they get to a point where like these ladies are like 30 something,
Mm-hmm.
and then the one lady says something, and the other lady is like, "I'm adopted. I was actually like I don't know anything about my childhood before I was 8." And the other girl's like, "What? Oh, that's nuts!" Like you guys are supposedly like best friends. She knew this shit. You never told your fucking sister. You know that she's not your sister. You never told her. Like just
You
so
just held on to
stupid.
this for 20 some years.
Until
For over 20
somebody
years.
until whatever happened and then it's stupid. Just so many dumb things. She's
And
got to
also,
try.
how do you have no memory? Like, because you were adopted, you just fucking have
No,
no memory?
no. So she doesn't have any memory because it does make sense that she doesn't have any memory because there's like crazy stuff that goes on
Oh,
in
okay.
this movie. But
Okay.
the whole
But
so
I'm
you
just like, you have memories from when you're 2 until you're
right,
8. Like, that
yeah.
doesn't make any fucking sense. So,
Well,
okay, they
yeah,
explain that at
yeah.
least.
Well, so you get to this like point. You're getting towards the end of the movie, and like the whole time they're kind of dropping these hints because there is a killer on the loose. There's somebody going killing, and you see this person in the movie. You
Oh,
know, like you see him actually murder people, so you know that there's
no.
something going on. And the whole time they're running around and they're doing stuff, you know, and then you have her trying like saying things where it's like foreshadowing, where like I've always
Oh,
wanted a blood relative.
Right.
And
Right.
you're just
Okay.
like, makes sense, you know, because she's trying to have a baby or whatever,
Sure.
and she miscarried a couple times. Like that's told to you right away. No
Right.
spoiler there.
Okay.
But like you're just like, okay, she's always wanted a blood relative. Like surprise twist, she's always had one. Is that what's coming? So like,
Right. Yeah.
okay, a huge spoiler alert.
This is just gonna spoil the whole movie.
This is
Here it
gonna
is.
this is gonna spoil the whole movie. So like, I'll try to pay attention to the time here. Skip forward like a minute and a half now if you don't want to hear it.
Okay. Go.
The Malignant is the name of the movie because there's like when you have a baby that dies when they're
Mm-hmm.
twins, it
Mm-hmm.
becomes a tumor technically.
Yep. A
It's
malignant.
malignant because like the murderer is her, but it's her like twin coming out of the back of her fucking head. And she's like,
Oh
it's been
God.
her the whole time, but she doesn't know it because like it's her twin brother and he's evil.
Oh my God.
And there was a couple parts of the movie where I noticed that the like thing that they had running around, like its limbs bent backwards, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. They're making it look creepier because its arms bent backwards. That's why it looks creepy. And then when they reveal the twist, I'm like, oh no, it was legitimately just running backwards because
Oh.
the face is on the opposite side of the head or
So
whatever. And it's just so dumb. And like the skull like splits open and the fucking face comes out and shit every time it goes into that. And then like it gets to a point where like once the secret's
Oh
finally
boy.
revealed, after they reveal everything, it
Yep.
goes into this crazy like
You're in your time limit, so are you gonna spoil more?
am I? Was
Yeah.
that I thought
Yeah.
I thought I had until the
Oh, okay. You got 10 more seconds.
it goes into this like crazy Matrix scene where she's like taking out a whole police
Oh, Jesus.
everybody. There. This isn't
Are
this.
you serious?
I'll tone this down because if you skip this far forward, you won't be able to tell. But there's a scene earlier where it was having
That's
trouble with
so
one
ridiculous.
person. The bad guy was having trouble with one person, and then it can just like all of a sudden
And then by the end of the movie, it does that.
it's a goddamn superhero at the end of the movie. It's dude, there's so much wrong with it. It was stupid. Where we got done with it, and both me and my wife were like, "That was a dumb fucking movie." Some people are like, "You either love it or you hate it." I'm right in the middle. Like, they had some good stuff, stupid stuff. I laughed at some of the weird pull-ins that they had with the dramatic music. They
What?
There's one scene where there's like a guy dead in the bathtub, and they show it, and you could see it, and the camera like pulls in closer, 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 closer. He doesn't move at all, and it goes. You're just like, I saw the dead guy 10 seconds ago.
The dead guy doesn't like shift or
Nope,
twitch or make an
nothing
eye blink or
happens. They
something.
just make a loud noise before the scene changes.
Who the fuck edited that thing?
I don't know. Just the noise hits, and I'm just like, okay, all right.
Who who is that person?
I don't know, right?
Why did that have to be
That's
so dramatic?
yeah. That's I was laughing too. I don't know if like people didn't put some of this shit together, but there was certain parts where the music cues didn't make any sense. Like you should have hit us with that fucking rip the moment you showed the dead body. And instead, you dramatically pull in on the body. Nothing happens at all. You just give us a loud cue.
What the hell?
I
Where was
don't
the
know.
producer on this fucking thing?
Dude, no idea. It's like seems like such a hodgepodge fucking setup where like I'm telling you, there's a couple guys that had some good ideas and the rest of it was like, what the fuck? I don't know.
Oh, I'm fucking losing my breath over here.
And apparently this guy was like a producer of like another like good horror movie. I can't remember what it was, but like he had some chops where they're just like,
Sure,
oh,
sure.
I'm so excited for this new guy's movie. It's just
Right.
fucking dumb. I do not like it.
Do
I
you
don't
think you
reckon.
saw the other guys? Do you think you saw the other movie that the guy produced?
Oh, I'm almost positive.
Yeah,
I
because
see
you've seen like
most.
everyone.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, and it got like a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb,
And you're like,
or
no.
like a 6. No, that's what it was. It was like a 6 on IMDb. and it chapter 2 got a 6.3, and I'm like, who the fuck is grading this stuff? It chapter 2 got 0.3 better than this fucking garbage. Just like, what the hell? It chapter 1 got 6.7. That's one of the best remake horror films I've ever seen.
Sure. Yeah.
It's so good. And
And you're
0.7.
talking about It, the movie, when you say It.
Yes, It the movie and the
Yeah.
remake.
Right.
The first one was a little bit.
Wasn't that directed by Rob Zombie?
I don't know. Rob Zombie made the Halloweens though.
Oh,
Those remake
he
Halloweens are
redid the
fucking
Halloweens. That's
brutal.
what it is. Yeah.
Brutal. Those Rob Zombie makes some brutal shit.
Yeah. I heard he's crazy good at what he does.
Okay, on to have you seen Squid Game?
No, I haven't. So we can't get into
No,
that.
we can't
because
get
I
into that either
heard
because I've
good
only
shit.
seen. Yeah, I have too. Me and my wife have got halfway through the first episode, and she's like, "I think this sucks," and I'm like, "Clearly more happens. I know it's not that great right now, but clearly more happens.
Yeah.
There's no way everybody's
Game of
talking
Thrones
about
was the
this."
same way for me. Like I had to get
Oh,
through
really?
I had to get through like an episode and a half until I got into it.
Really, Game of Thrones, my first episode I watched, wanted me to watch, like made me want to watch more, and it was like some promo deal where it only gave me the first episode, and I was like, "Are you shitting me? I don't get to watch anymore." Like I was
Oh.
sold on the first episode. When I saw the White Walkers, what did it for me?
Ah, right.
I was
And
like,
then you don't see him
"Oh,
again
dude,
until the last
yeah,
season. So you're like,
yeah."
what the
Which
fuck?
really, yeah, what a sales pitch. I really wanted.
I'm gonna rope you in for 7 more years.
Yeah, but yeah, the Squid Game. I mean, it starts off
Yeah.
basically like selling the character. Like he's kind of a shitty dad, and they show him like eating food and like trying to gamble and stuff. And Shannon's like, "I don't really like this." And it's just like,
Hold
clearly
on, they're
this isn't the
building.
movie. They're
Right.
building this character
Yeah.
because that's all the farther we've got. So I'm not spoiling anything. Like you'll watch
okay.
it, and you'll see. You just
Okay.
like
Okay.
they definitely want you to know straight out the gate. He's got a gambling problem.
Right. They're building a character for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
you're saying stick with it, which is the
Yeah, 'cause
only
I
advice
haven't-
I've heard so far. Everyone else is just like, do it,
Yeah.
watch it.
I haven't seen past, we're like halfway through the first episode because sometimes we're watching half episodes.
Right.
We put our kid to sleep, and whatever time we actually get him to sleep, then we watch
Right.
TV until we got to go to bed, and we're like,
So
"Fuck,
you
I
fall
want to."
asleep.
Yeah, I want to see the rest of this episode, but I have not slept a lot this week. I really need to
Right.
go to bed now.
I think it's time to go to bed.
Yeah, and I have
know,
a feeling that
it's hard.
something good is coming, and I need to shut this off before we get to the good part. Otherwise, I'm not going to go to sleep.
Right.
So
Which is why we
far-
do a lot of rewatching on my side of the
Yeah, so far
the
I'm
mic
like
here.
just like degenerate gambler, whatever. Click. And shut up.
I gotta go.
Yep. So, is there anything that you're watching new? Or are you
No,
just rewatching
dude.
everything?
No. Yeah, we're watching like Rick and Morty, dude. Triple D. You know the Triple D
What's Triple D?
franchise with Guy Fieri?
Oh,
Diners, Drive-Ins,
yeah.
Dives.
Shannon watches that all the time.
Yeah, we watch it all the time. We've been rewatching it without knowing there's like over 10 new episodes and they're still dropping. Like he's released 2 new seasons since we got Discovery Plus, and we
Really?
haven't been watching them because we didn't know he was fucking making them.
Damn, dude.
It's
That's
crazy.
That's just on like Hulu or something too. Shannon watches it all the time.
They have a select version. They have a select thing of Food Network that's on Hulu. On Discovery Plus, it's all there. All the new episodes are dropping like the day after they go live on Food Network. So like, yeah. But it was crazy. It's just crazy to think like this dude's fucking has made 2 seasons, and we watched the first 3 episodes and we were like, oh yeah, okay, I guess he's making more. And then he's put out like 2 seasons since, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. He's also put out a Hawaiian show, like the Fietis Go to Hawaii. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? This guy is endless.
The Fietis Go to Hawaii.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. It's just like this dude is endless work. It's crazy.
All the time.
It's absolutely nuts.
Guy Fieri Bear.
Fieri Bear? What's that?
Guy Fieri. You remember at Sam's bachelor party? Kind of inside joke. I thought you would think it was funny.
Yeah.
We just had like some weird blonde
Yes,
wig that we
I
put on a
remember that.
stuffed
I
bear that they
remember
had
that
in the
now.
cabin. We just called him Guy Fieri Bear.
Guy Fieri Bear because he had the hair. Oh, that was
uh,
amazing.
if you guys haven't heard, oh god damn it, who's got that joke?
I know, because that joke is I think about it all the time because I'm constantly watching Guy Fieri shit on Discovery Plus, like I said.
Is it said like that? Or it's Fieri, right? It's
No, Fieri's
spelled.
his real name. Like that's the Italian version.
That's how you say it,
Yeah,
because it's
Guy
spelled with an
Fieri.
R.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
No,
Yeah,
that's how
it's
he says it. I'm Guy Fieri and this is Triple D. Yeah.
okay. I
That's
was
like because that's how you say it in Italian.
yeah.
Yeah. Or like
Let's
that's the
see.
Italian
Gotta get
pronunciation from what I.
Shane Torres.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't heard Shane Torres's joke about Guy Fieri, go check it out.
Go check it out.
That's a good
Because
ass
it also
joke.
has an Anthony Bourdain reference, who was one of my favorites of all time to
Yep.
watch.
Yep.
And it's so fucking true.
Yeah,
It's so true.
it is. And the end of the joke is so fucking good. I still quote that shit all the time. But
It's
I'll
great.
just tell you,
But just go look it up.
go
Let's not
listen.
spoil it here.
Yep. Go look it up. I could recite the whole joke word for word, but are, are we getting close to the end here?
Yep, we are. I was just about to wrap it up. What you got?
I got to tell you about the last crazy ass thing about what I want to watch. Not what
Oh,
I'm watching now, but I know that there's something, and it ties into Discovery Plus because we're talking about it. Because,
yep.
oh, what is that guy's name? Is it Chris Hansen? Is he the To Catch a
Chris
Predator guy?
Hansen. He's the Catch Predator guy.
Yeah, Catch a Predator guy. Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
I heard him on YMH podcasts. He actually went
He
in
was
there.
on Your Mom's House podcast?
Yeah,
Like he
dude.
was a guest?
And
Nice.
they were kind of interviewing him a little bit and asking him questions, which is super cool. That's why they ended up getting into like the whole cool guy club because those are all cool guys. All the guys that he deals with are cool guys.
Oh, of course they
They
are.
show up with a condom
Six-pack
and a
of
6-pack of beer to some underage girl's
wine
house.
coolers, dude. It's not beer, it's wine coolers. Jeez.
Wine coolers. They actually get into that. I think it's only like one time a guy showed up with wine coolers. The rest of them like could give a shit less, where they're just like, I brought beer, and like, you know, that little girl wants to drink wine coolers over beer, dude. Think about when you were 12, idiot.
Right. Creepy bastards.
Creamer.
But anyways, so he's on Your Mom's House.
He's on Your Mom's House podcast, and they're talking about stuff, and they talk about a documentary that he was, I don't know if he produced it or what,
Okay.
but I think it's actually a season, but it's on the Discovery Plus, and it is called Unseemly because it's
that's
like
a gross name.
Yes. Well, he's like this guy is Peter Nygard. You ever heard of Peter Nygard?
Mm-mm.
So Peter Nygard was, I guess, like, because it's called Unseemly, it's, you know, like a pun with unseen, like, yeah. So,
yeah.
And then he made pants.
Oh, okay.
Chris Hansen said that, like, if you were a woman and you bought pants like in the 90s, there's a pretty good chance that he made them. Like, he's just filthy rich.
Huh. Okay.
And there's a lot of sexual scandals and like brutal rape and torture and I guess stuff like that through him. But the part that sold me, that was like, I got to check this out, is the most movie villainous thing I've ever heard from a real life person in my entire life.
What? And we live next to the place that fucking had the clown.
Oh, dude.
Fucking boy fucker in Wisconsin.
Yeah, well, no, that was you're mixing up your serial killers. I like serial killers too.
I know.
The Wisconsin guy was
well, Dahmer was over there
Dahmer.
too.
Dahmer. The other guy was from Chicago.
One.
There's more. Yeah, the other guy was from Chicago, the clown guy.
Oh,
Gacy. Gacy, I think, was Chicago.
Yep, John Wayne Gacy. Yeah.
John Wayne Gacy, the clown. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. But so yeah, that's all just like
having
demented.
known all that shit. This is still more villainous.
Yeah, because that's all demented serial killer stuff. Like those guys are just like
Ah,
murdering, you know, like
right.
this is the villainous thing.
Okay.
So this guy, trigger warning for anybody. I'm
Oh
about to tell
god.
you, like it's not uh, just maybe just cut off here if you
Just
don't
just maybe
if
cut off here. We'll end the podcast soon.
if you can't handle
Fucked up
certain
shit.
I'm not gonna it's not real graphic, but here we go. This guy was raping underage girls, getting them pregnant, having them abort the fetuses,
Yeah.
and then using the stem cell fetus, like from the fetuses, to keep
No.
himself young.
No, he was not.
Yeah, he was.
South Park made fun of that so many years
I
ago.
know. Is that not the most like villainous thing you've ever heard?
Oh my god.
Yeah, Superman was doing it.
Yeah.
He,
Yeah.
yeah,
He
yeah,
was cracking the fetuses open and sucking
yeah.
it straight out of their
Just
neck.
yeah,
This guy was seriously doing that?
yes, yeah.
It
Like
wasn't
12,
working.
like 12-year-old girls.
He wasn't ingesting those stem cells properly though to make it actually work.
He had scientists help, like actually, like he was he
How?
was having him create the stem cells out of the fetuses and then
Who
injecting
would
them.
help him? Oh, like, how would he explain? What the
Money, money,
fuck,
dude.
dude?
It's people like that that give these rumors
That's how
like
QAnon is.
legs to
Like
stand
it's
on.
fucked up people
Yeah,
like that that give Q fuel.
that give like the elitists are killing
Yep.
babies. It's like that one guy does
That
it,
one guy did it. Yep. Uh-huh.
and now
Uh-huh.
they're just like they all do it. Like
Yep.
no, they fucking don't. They have
No, they did.
souls. You don't have people like lovable like that that are just diabolical monsters at the
Right.
same time.
Right. Yeah. Like there's that's 1 in a billion sort of person. So there's
Yes,
7 of those people
because
living in the world right now.
yeah, because even though like actors sometimes can be a little bit like they play a role, they can be like dissociative. They're a little bit weird
Sure.
sometimes to
Sure.
be able to get in that headspace.
Yeah.
That doesn't make them uh, uh, able to
Psychopaths.
they don't have the ability to not care about murdering. Well, I shouldn't say murder. We don't need to have people being like
Getting on you
abortion
about
isn't
abortion
murder or
or
whatever. Yeah, that's I mean just like but like raping children and
right.
aborting fetuses to try to keep themselves young, you know?
Right.
Like there's one guy that can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Like that's not a widespread thing.